Somebody right over here raising.
Dr. Poh, first of all, thank you for whatever you have done for Singapore and for Singaporeans. Seeing people like you and Dr. Ang gives people like me a lot of hope. But when I look at the successive results of successive elections, all that hope dissipates. My question, I guess, is very personal. It's not intellectual at all. In the past, when Singaporeans did not support the opposition, or when the Singaporean population in general was willing to tolerate the Internal Security Act, you could probably make an excuse for them. The media was controlled. They were not as exposed to other forms of information, and they were not as educated as they are now. But if in 2015, when all these issues are still there, but Singaporeans are highly educated, they have access to social media, mainstream media is no longer as prevalent as in the past, there seems like no excuse for younger Singaporeans at least to continue to support things like the Internal Security Act. So my question to you is, do you feel betrayed by Singaporeans? Or do you feel any tinge of regret sacrificing everything and yet not being vindicated by the people that you made those sacrifices for?
No, I don't think so. I don't feel that way. You know? I feel that many Singaporeans dare not vote against the PAP. They are afraid. You know? And on the one hand, they are afraid. On the other side, for the last one generation or so, they have been indoctrinated with the PAP policy. You know, and so they will vote the PAP, and I don't expect them to completely vote opposition. Further, most of them work in whatever firm they work. The firm is usually connected with the government. Whether in a health firm or whether in any other firm, there's always some connection. Like the DBS is not independent. DBS is a government organization. It could be listed in the stock market. And then people are punished and others learn the lesson.
I mean, if I can just add a point, I think it's important to remember, as Dr. Poh says, national education has been compulsory for Singaporean students since 1996. So a whole generation of Singaporeans have grown up with this idea that we were a fishing village and Lee Kuan Yew saved us, not just from poverty, but from communism. And I've been a school teacher. I've seen the curriculum. It's really one-sided. And of course, as Dr. Poh says, there's a lot of other controls and financial, the CPF, the HDB government controlled, and town councils. Hougang, Aljunied, Punggol East has shown that if you vote opposition, the government will punish you heavily by taking away your facilities and underfunding your town council. So what incentive do you have to vote opposition? So in spite of that, the opposition continues to fight on, and people continue to at least morally support them. So I think there's a lot of optimism, right? It's the barrier is institutional. It's an incentive structure rather than people genuinely believing in the PAP.
May I add that the PAP states that the Barisan makes trouble, and because the Barisan makes trouble, if it comes to the power, businessmen will run away. That is not a fact. During 1961-62, there were strikes, but there were more strikes and longer strikes by PAP unions. And this is proven by reports of the Federation of Federation of Employers, as well as by PAP member for Parliament Ho Chi Minh. He admitted that there were less strikes by the middle road unions than by PAP unions. That's the first point. All right. And I mean, the people who were then in the government in the national development was James Puducherry and Lim Shi Ping. They were heading the development organization, and they were partisan men later. So to say that Barisan would cause trouble and therefore businessmen will go away, that is not true. That's not true. Yeah. In fact, we were more tolerant, causing less trouble, causing less strikes, and than the PAP unions.